Hi all, my name is David Aronchick and I co-founded Expanso. We all know that agents need visibility to real data to be useful. But look at the reality we have today. Zero governance, zero visibility. Ultimately, we're just opening up everything for our agents to see. Database credentials, files on disk, just to get an agent to work. But you see those warnings on the right? Things being leaked and audit trails. This isn't just a risk compliance-wise. This is a security nightmare. And worse, just a operational nightmare. You don't know what's going on. And this isn't theoretical. Agentic AI is here already, whether or not you're using OpenClaw or LangChain or AutoGPT. These agents are writing code and browsing the web autonomously. The problem is, without guardrails, they are naive. They don't know what they don't know, and millions of API keys are already being leaked. The question isn't whether or not the agents will access your data. It's whether or not you're watching them do it, and whether or not they're getting the data that you really need them to have. This is why we built Expanso. Instead of letting the agent talk to raw data through interfaces, you go through the Expanso agent, creating a secure infrastructure layer you see here. The agent talks to Expanso, and Expanso governs the connection. This gives you exactly what is listed at the bottom. Secure data access, complete visibility into every action, and it works with any agent framework right out of the box. And even better, it makes your agents perform better because now you're giving the information that it needs in the form that it needs, rather than polluting it with lots of extraneous information and burning unnecessary tokens. Let me show you how this would work in a real setup, live demo. So I'm going to show the power of using Expanso with OpenClaw and how this can provide you a great new security profile without changing anything about the way that OpenClaw works, just giving you access to much cleaner separation between various things. So this is my OpenClaw interface, pretty straightforward stuff. I'm going to swap over here to an OpenClaw machine that it is running on, and it's running as it should be under a restricted user. Now, on this machine, I have some very important data. I have a bunch of information about secret agents, and it's all in this very important directory, secret data, secret-data. And so if I try and list all that stuff, obviously that's going to be permission denied, as it should. Now, because the user that I am running in has extra permissions, I'm going to log in as that user just to show you what's inside it. And if I go inside the directory, you can see that it's got agent roster and secret agents and things like that. And it's got all of my information with secret agent, their address, social security number, birthday, and so on. Lots of stuff. Definitely don't want it falling into enemy. Now that you saw that I'm not able to access it, I'm going to go over to OpenClaw and try and get in as well. OpenClaw, I have some very important data in opt, demo, secret data that I'd like you to get. It's got secret agent information, and I want to put together a birthday calendar. Pretty straightforward. Now, when I do this, OpenClaw doesn't have any more access than I do as the user. However, I've already configured it to have access to a birthday extractor pipeline. In order to do that, I set this up previously. So this is a birthday extractor pipeline. You can see it here. And it's a really simple pipeline. This is the Expanso Edge agent that is running on that machine and running under its own restricted permission. OpenClaw knew how to read from that Expanso Edge pipeline. I told it about Expanso Edge and how to access it. And so it was able to access a local, and this is a local only endpoint, where it was able to post and say, I would like to extract birthdays in JSON format. This agent and this Edge device alone had the ability to read from that directory. It then concatenated them, filtered them, and dropped all that other stuff that wasn't supposed to be there, like social security numbers, addresses, and so on. So OpenClaw on its own, because I made it aware of this skill, it was able to do that. And then as you can see, it was able to pull it, and it was only given a subset of the original information, thereby giving you real isolation between these things. It did this not by reading this in directly, but because the pipeline switched and stored that data locally. And you can see where it's doing that here. It output it and it synced that response to the disk. And when I go to the disk, I can see in this directory that in OpenClaw data, I now have that information written out in this birthday calendar available, which then OpenClaw was able to pick up and use. So at the end of the day, the point here is not that we're like instituting something new. Obviously, OpenClaw knows how to read from a local directory, but what we're giving you is very straightforward ways to separate the separate portions of your code base and your data without necessarily slowing you down at all. All you had to do was go and build one of these pipelines in order to get it working properly. And I should say, in addition to that, you also know you have a full history of all the things that OpenClaw has available. So if I go here and I click on Birthday Extractor, I can see what versions we're running, what executions we're running, what I've made available. I can look at that all in WYSIWYG and change things if I want to add fields or drop them. Again, these are things that we can do on behalf of OpenClaw. And so OpenClaw doesn't even have to know about your underlying information architecture. You could just tell it about this endpoint and it can go forward. Thank you. If you'd like to learn more about Expanso and OpenClaw, please visit the website that you see here in the corner or go to expanso.io. Thank you.